Welcome. I am DAA of DHB Recovery Network. DHB stands for Devotion, Health, and Beauty. This is the weekly podcast on grief. The readings are from Grief One Day at a Time, 365 Meditations to Help You Heal After Loss by Alan D. Wolfett, PhD. Walk with me as we together grieve one day at a time. Fair use. April 1st. Some people feel the rain, others just get wet. A quote from Bob Marley. Our grief is like the showers of April. It washes over us day after day. It can make everything seem cold and dreary. Still, our challenge is to really feel the rain of our grief, to observe it, to notice its nuances, to focus on it when it wants our attention, to sit in it and fully experience it. Some people don't soak in their grief in this way. Instead, they just get wet. They don't observe, notice, focus, and befriend. Many times I have seen such people trying to hurriedly dry off without ever having really felt the rain. The problem is these people tend to never really feel the sunshine again either. The meditation reads, I appreciate the rain, and in my appreciation, I know that I will also be able to appreciate the sun when it reappears. April 2nd. What day is it? It's today, squeaked Piglet. My favorite day, said Pooh. A quote by A. Milne. As Eckhart Tolle emphasizes, our life only ever takes place in the present. Our grief needs us to remember the past and wander and worry about the future, but meanwhile, our life is still happening in the now. One way to get better at mindful in the moment living is by pursuing activities that we lose ourselves in. When we are in the flow or the zone of doing things that we love, we are fully present. We can also work to be fully present to our grief. When thoughts and feelings come up, we think and feel them. We do not rush or suppress them. We allow ourselves to experience them in the fullness of time they require. The meditation reads, Today is a day for being present, come what may. April 3rd. Choose your intention carefully and then practice holding your consciousness to it so it becomes the guiding light in your life. A quote by John Roger. When we are grieving, we can choose goals and intentions. For example, we might tell ourselves, I intend to reach out for help from others because we know this will help us heal and nurture meaningful connections. Then, as we are going about our daily lives, we can keep checking back in with our carefully chosen intentions. When we notice ourselves clamming up or withdrawing, we can remind ourselves of our intention to reach out for help. In this way, our intentions can help guide us in our grief. So let's carefully choose at least one grief intention today and practice holding our consciousness to it. It will become the guiding light in our darkness. The meditation reads, In my time of grief, I intend to fill in the blank. Today, I intend to fill in the blank for yourself. April 4th. You give yourself permission to grieve by recognizing the need for grieving. Grieving is the natural way of working through the loss of a love. Grieving is not weakness nor absence of faith. Grieving is as natural as crying when you are hurt. sleeping when you are tired, or sneezing when your nose itches. It is nature's way of healing a broken heart. A quote by Doug Manning. We are often hard on ourselves when we are in grief. We judge ourselves and we push ourselves. We tell ourselves we need to be strong and carry on. We try to keep doing everything that needs to be done. What we really need, however, is to be gentle with ourselves. We must give ourselves permission to grieve and mourn because these tasks are the most important things we have to do right now. Nothing is higher priority than allowing our grief to naturally unfold and expressing whatever comes up. There is no right way to grieve and mourn, but there is only rightness in grief and mourning. The meditation reads, I give myself permission to grieve as long and as deeply as I need to. I also give myself permission to actively express my grief so that I create momentum for healing. April 5th. Those who love you are not fooled by mistakes you have made or dark images you hold about yourself. They remember your beauty when you feel ugly, your wholeness when you are broken, your innocence when you feel guilty, and your purpose when you are confused. A quote by Alan Cohen. Sometimes when we're grieving, we feel unlovable. We're grouchy, unkept, tear-stained, out of sorts. We're a hot mess. We're not fit for company. All we want to do is hide out where no one can see us. It's times like this that we need to remember that the people who love us most are not fooled. They love us no matter what, and they also remember the best of us. The people who love us most can help us find our way back to our new best selves. When they want to help, let's let them in. The meditation reads, the people who love me most love me no matter what. I will call or visit them today. April 6th. There is a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are messengers of overwhelming grief and unspeakable love. A quote by Washington Irving. Crying is one way in which we instinctively express our grief. Our tears cleanse our bodies, minds, and spirits. Emotional tears carry out stress hormones and other toxins like a river of relief. Tears also stimulate the release of our feel-good hormones called endorphins, which help us feel better after a good cry. And so we must give ourselves permission to cry as often and as much as we need to. If we feel like sobbing or wailing, we must sob or wail. Our bodies know how to mourn. The meditation reads, when I feel tears gathering, I will allow them to spill. My body has healing wisdom. April 7th. Not all those who wander are lost. A quote by J.R.R. Tolkien. We are wandering in our grief. We are going this way and that, sometimes forward, sometimes backward, sometimes in circles or zigzags. In our wandering, we can feel aimless, even hopeless. We can feel disorganized and disoriented. We can feel lost. Grief is indeed a meandering journey, one with no roadmap. When we are feeling lost, we can remember we may be meandering, but we are not lost. We are doing what we need to do. When we learn to trust that the wandering will eventually get us where we need to go, it gets easier and hope reignites. The meditation reads, grief is all about the journey. I may be wandering, but I am not lost. Please share, subscribe, and most of all, remember that on this grief walk, you are not alone.